ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Let's Play Warframe. I'm your host with the most, as always, Francois878, and today we're going to be looking at the brand new infested explosive secondary known as Pox, introduced in the Silver Grove update. Now, I am going to talk about this weapon, how I feel about it. I'm going to show you guys some builds for it, as merely as suggestions. First and foremost, though, I'm going to talk about the base stats for the weapon. It deals 125 toxin damage, which is not ideal for combining with certain other elements for getting the most efficient damage for all enemy types. But damage isn't necessarily this weapon's key component, and I'll get to that in a moment. The fire rate is 2.08. It has a 35% base status chance, which is very important. It has a 1% crit chance and deals no bonus crit damage. So it can't crit at all, basically. Now, this weapon is very interesting because it's not a weapon you necessarily want to actually hit the enemy with. Now, when you throw this particular weapon, the Pox, it will, when it lands, it will produce a cloud of gas. That gas cloud will proc whatever elemental effects you have on the weapon. If you have radiation built onto the weapon, it'll proc radiation. If you have corrosive, it'll proc corrosive. If you have blast, it will proc blast. So this weapon essentially is a secondary version of the Torrid. And honestly, due to the fact that with just 2 status chance boosting mods, you can get this weapon to 99% status chance. This is actually a upgrade to the Torrid. Basically, when you have enemies in this toxic cloud, it will proc the status effect of your choice on those enemies, no questions asked. If you have radiation on, it will confuse any enemy that hits that cloud. If you have corrosive on, it's going to melt armor. If you have blast on, enemies in the cloud will literally get knocked down, stand back up, get knocked down, stand back up, as long as that cloud is present on the field. The clouds last about 5 to 6 seconds. Now, the footage that you're going to see here is on a level 140. It's on a 140 corrupted heavy gunner. Now, the damage isn't necessarily what we're looking at here. It took me about 2 seconds to melt the armor off of that level 140 corrupted heavy gunner. Now, as far as I know, stealth bonuses do not apply to status effects. So that corrupted heavy gunner literally just had every little bit of its armor stripped off in less than 2 seconds by the Pox, which is an incredibly awesome thing to have if you're running a lot of relics. Now, this is the build. Obviously, Hornet Sting, Lethal Torrent, and Barrel Diffusion for your multi-shot and your fire rate and your damage. Pistol ammo mutation is something that you can kind of do without. I felt because this weapon does have a very low max ammo, that being able to guarantee as much ammo as you can might be a good thing. You can replace that with a damage mod or a fire rate mod or really whatever you want. That's a flexible slot as far as I'm concerned. Now, as far as the last 4 slots, of course, you're going to have your elemental mods. I went with 2 90% elemental damage mods and 2 60% elemental damage, 60% status chance mods. Now, you can see I have a 98.4% chance to proc status effects, and I was literally no enemy in the gas cloud was being unaffected by status effects. It's absolutely, the Pox is an incredibly defensive weapon. If you can hole up in a choke point on a level and just toss Pox bombs out, and just sit there and proc your radiation or your corrosive or your blast and just sit there and do that, it's an incredibly powerful weapon, and it has a lot of potential for defense and map control in general, which is why I say it's a very interesting weapon for endgame content, for raids, that sort of thing. Now, as far as pure damage goes, it's garbage. It's not, which is why I didn't... which is why I threw pistol ammo mutation on there. If you want to put all 4 60% elemental damage, 60% status chance mods on there to just get that 100% status effect to ensure that you're going to hit that, that's totally up to you guys. That's if you want to be 100% sure, that's on you. Damage is not really this weapon's forte, but locking down areas of the map, being able to guarantee blast procs and corrosive procs and radiation procs, or whatever type of proc that you want to inflict on the enemies, that is the way to go. The only gripe that I have about this weapon, I mentioned it earlier, is the very limited ammo that you have for it. You only get 20 rounds, so you have to be a little bit more ammo savvy with it, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad that you're like, well, I'm just not going to use the Pox anymore, I guess. I never had a real concrete issue with it. I think it's an interesting weapon. Like I said, it's the secondary version of the Torrid, and quite frankly, I think superior to the Torrid. I was never able to land those kinds of consistent status effects with the Torrid. So that's up to you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Maybe I'm out of my mind. Let me know, please. We'll be doing more Warframe content for the Silver Grove coming very soon. I'm going to be doing my Tatiana review here very soon. I cannot wait. She is a lot of fun, a very interesting frame indeed. But until next time, guys, I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more coming soon. I've been your host of the most, as always, signing out.